Give it to her. 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 Now slide to the beat like give it to her. 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 I be cutting up like move to the beat like move to the beat like move to the beat. Now slide to the beat like move to the beat.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to My Curvy Life with, of course, your host, Miss Fonda, and my co-host, Miss Latanya and Lasagna Jones. We bring you greetings from this show, My Curvy Life, y'all. Hopefully, everybody is enjoying their day. It's been amazing for me these last few weeks. I have been preparing for the homeless feed, and I did just want to make a announcement to tell everybody, sorry y'all, I'm trying to get my camera fixed, to tell everyone who contributed to that cause, thank you. Whether you prayed, whether you gave, whether you took time, you cooked, whether you served, everybody, thank you so much. The homeless did appreciate everything that you did. If you were able to, I did capture some moments. A few people did want to say something. They wanted to thank you all. I told them this wasn't just me. This was a collaboration of the community and of a village that wants to see you guys be blessed and wants to help those that are less fortunate. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for allowing God to touch your heart and to do something so special for those that are in need. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing next. I'm thinking about a October or November feed. I'm not sure. Winter is tough, y'all, because y'all know how I get here in Nebraska. It is very, very cold. So I'm going to be thinking about that, and I'm going to be praying on it. And if the Lord says so, then we will have another feed before the end of the year. If not, for sure, every spring and every summer, I will do a feed for the homeless. Especially during my birthday, I like to give back in the month of April. So for spring, it will be in the month of April. Not sure if I'm going to make it with this year of getting my meet and greet together. I'm still looking for a place where I can have that and kind of collaborate and get things together. It's been a very busy year so far, so that's okay, y'all. I'm gonna get it together, and I'm gonna have a meet and greet for the brand, my brand Curve. So keep that in your Rolodex, okay? So tonight, guys, tonight, we have a special guest on the show. I'm always excited about my guests. I want to thank you all for saying yes and coming on and sharing with us your story. You know, I appreciate that. And sometimes some stories are not easy to tell, but thank you for doing this. And somebody is going to be blessed by what you're doing. And that's my prayer, is that somebody be touched and blessed, encouraged, inspired, all that good stuff. So tonight, y'all, we have the fabulous Miss Nikki Rush. Nikki now, which is Nurse Nikki, that's what I'm gonna call her. She is 43 years old. She has been a wife of 15 years to the Mr. Chris Rush. She has 3 children, a daughter who's 23, and 2 boys. One is 10 and one is 15. She is an Omaha native. She recently graduated with a bachelor's in nursing after being a medical assistant for 19 years. Okay, she loves to be with her family. She's a lover of music, health, and beauty. She loves natural hair, and she said if she hadn't become a nurse, she was going to have a natural hair salon. So she loves natural hair, y'all. And most of all, she is a lover of Jesus. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Miss Nikki to the stage. Give me just one moment to get her added.
Hey.
Hey, Miss Nikki. I bet you said, is she coming? Girl.
I'm sitting here like, I'm trying to smile like.
Holding that smile, waiting to come
Right.
in.
Thank you. Right.
Welcome to the show, Miss Nurse Nikki. That's your new
Thank
name is Nurse
you.
Nikki for me. Okay.
Literally everybody has been calling me that. I'm like,
Because we're
it's
so
so
proud
funny.
of you. We got a nurse
Thank you.
in the fold. You know what I'm saying? So
So
congratulations, honey bun. And let's just jump right in, honey. I want to just, know a little bit more about, this career that you have.
mhm.
I think it's been a long time coming, but I wanted to start off with the first question I want to ask you is what made you want to become a nurse?
So I knew for a long time, actually, if I look back at my senior yearbook, you know how they have you fill out stuff about what you want to be when you grow up. So a long time ago, I actually wanted to be a pediatrician. And that's what I wrote in my senior book. But my love for healthcare came when I was a little girl because I had asthma really, really bad. And there was
Mm.
times I was hospitalized several times back when I was in elementary school. And I could just remember a nurse in particular named Peggy. I can't picture her face or anything because I was like in elementary, probably like in third grade or something like that. But I just remember that my parents, they had to work. So they couldn't stay at the hospital with me, the whole time. So this nurse, she just took great care of me, treated me like I was her own, just provided, the best care. And I never forgot her after all these years. And that's where my love for healthcare started way back then.
Oh wow, that's an amazing story.
Mhm.
That's why it's important to treat people right, girl, even kids,
It is so
because they
true.
grow up they grow up remembering you,
Yeah.
and if you were to see her today, she would probably, I had a similar experience, I'll put it that way. One
Mhm.
of the one of the well, actually I'm gonna say who she was. Mother Parker, okay, from
Okay.
Antioch.
Mhm.
Mother
Yes.
Parker. I
Hmm.
remember I had to have my appendix removed.
Okay.
And I was in the hospital. And again, my parents actually were sickly, so they couldn't really be there for me, like they needed to be. And so Mother Parker, because we used to go to her church as a kid,
Okay.
she came out and I will never forget it. She spent a whole day with me, playing games, talking to me, just spending quality time with me to help me through that ordeal that I was in. And I have never forgotten that.
Hmm.
Now, Mother Parker is up in age and she's done
Yes.
so much for so many people. She really couldn't remember it. She couldn't remember that. But I remember that. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And so I'm so to this day grateful to her for that. So that's amazing that you had that experience and she left a impact on you to become a nurse.
Yes.
So amazing. So my next question is, how long did it take you to actually pursue this career?
Okay, so originally, like when I first got out of high school, I went to Metro right after I graduated. I started at Metro, but at the time, I guess my mental space was not in the right place. I was happy to be out of high school, so I was like, I'm grown, I'm like, I'm trying to kick it. That's basically what it was. My parents was like, you can stay at home, my parents, I always had supportive parents, we didn't have a whole
Mm-hmm.
lot, but my mom and dad always worked. They always worked to provide for us. So my parents
Mm-hmm.
always, and I'm the youngest of 8 kids. So, I got baby syndrome. I was the baby. I always got that special treatment. So my parents was like,
Mm-hmm.
stay home, you go to school, you don't have to worry about nothing. But I wanted to be grown. So I went for maybe a semester or so like that, maybe two. And then I dropped out. I was just going out, partying, kicking it. Then I was like, I'm about to get my own place. So I worked a mall job, telemarketing, whatever I was doing back then. And moved out, and then eventually, maybe a year or two later, I got pregnant with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
had her when I was 20 years old. So I loved her from the moment I knew about her. So my thing was, I got to do whatever I can to do, to try to take care of this, this baby. So like I moved back home for a little while, up until I had her up until she was maybe 3 months. And then I moved back in my own place with her. And then, I always had a job. I always, worked and had, jobs or whatever, but it was just something that, I'm like, I want to do something more than just go work at a telemarket or a retail store or whatever. So I ended up going to get my medical assistant diploma, which was only like maybe like a year and a half or something like that. Back then, which was all the way back in 2004, they had a program up at Allegiant Health, and I went through that program and I did amazing. Even though I was going through a rough time, I was going through some trials. I was a single mom, in and out of relationships and stuff like that. But I knew I had to take care of this baby and I wanted something different. I've been on welfare before, but that was just never something that sat right with me. I never wanted to be a person that stuck with that. That just was never, ever me. People have always thought that I was like super bougie, and I'm like, okay, I kind of am. I don't want to be, I don't want to be on welfare,
Lord Jesus.
So when I got my medical assistant diploma, that was like a saving grace, because after that, it was never an issue for me to have a job, and God always blessed me to be in good graces with just a number of different people. Healthcare, you connect with a lot of different people, and people will give you leads and, tell you, well, go here, or I know this doctor that need a medical assistant or that. So it was kind of always like that. So I worked as a medical assistant. I absolutely loved it. That's why I did it for 19 years, because I got experience in a variety of different settings. I've worked in family care, children's, just a variety of different things. OBGYN, that was my favorite. I love that. That was my first job after school. After graduating, I stayed at that job for maybe 5 years, and I just really loved it. But that was always something that I could go to, and it would always pay the bills. And the longer I stayed, the more I would make, and I was able to provide comfortably for me and my daughter until I got married. So that's how I started with that. And I stayed with it the whole time. Like, I would go back to school and take like 1 or 2 classes. And then, I would be like, okay, well, I'm going to try to go get a nursing degree. But financially, I always was like, I need a full-time job. Nursing school is demanding. It's very demanding. And I feel like people don't understand that.
Tell us
how tough. Oh, it is hard. It is literally the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
And that's why it took me so long, because I would take a class or 2, maybe here. It was sometimes I struggled with statistics. I took the class like 4 times, and you needed a C to get into a nursing program, at least a C. I would always get a D, maybe like 1 or 2 points from a C, but I would always get a D. I struggled with that class. And I'm like, the stuff that they have you learning in the class, like, I know how to calculate dosages for my medication. That's what I need to know. All this other stuff that y'all got me learning, I like prayed my way. The last time I took that class, you don't know, I prayed. I emailed the teacher. I said, look, I know the base, what I need to know to calculate this medication so I won't overdose somebody. And, I know what I need to know to be a nurse. All this other stuff, I promise, I think that man passed me because he was sick of me emailing him. I was like, I ain't getting this. It's not clicking in like at all.
Oh, God.
So I got that. And I was just like, me and a couple, I was working at the clinic where I'm actually still employed at. I work for Nebraska Medicine. And this, 3 years ago, I applied. The first time I applied, I still needed to retake that the statistics class. So they didn't let me in because they were saying you need to raise this statistics score, your math and science. So one of my coworkers, she applied at the same time and she got accepted, but I didn't. And at first I was a little hurt, but then I was just like, okay, I'm just about to go take the class again. That's what I did. I ended up passing. I got the C. And I prayed and I was like, Clarkson was the school I wanted to go to. I had researched forever, different schools,
Mm-hmm.
nursing
Mm-hmm.
schools. I researched over and over. And I was just like, okay, Lord, you know, this is my heart's desire. It's one thing when you know that God has called you to do something, because anytime you
Mm-hmm.
try to get away from it and you be like, I'm not going to do it, just forget it. It keeps coming to you. It just keeps
Mm-hmm.
spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it was. And it's like God knew that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be. So I applied. After I passed that class, I applied and I prayed. I said, Lord, if you get me into Clarkson, this nursing program, I'm going to go and I'm going to finish this time, because I quit multiple times because I'm just like, I don't have time for school. I got to make money. I got to take care of my kids. You know, I got to take care of my household.
Mm-hmm.
So I quit multiple times. Or I would just, like I said, take classes here and there. I picked up a whole degree, liberal arts and applied science degree, just from me going to class for, taking a bunch of different classes. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's what helped. That was something that helped me, because all those classes, they transferred over to when I got accepted into Clarkson.
That's
Every single one of my
love.
credits,
Yes.
they transferred over. So I didn't have to take any of those classes, over again. I went right into the nursing program. And I was just like, okay. At first I felt like it felt easy. When the first semester, it was like easy. It was stuff that I already knew. I've been a medical assistant for 9 years. I know how to take people's
Mm-hmm.
blood pressure. I know how to, draw up a medication. I know how to give shots. I've been doing that for, you know, 16 years at the time. So I'm like, oh, this is easy. But baby,
Right.
let me tell you,
Then all of a sudden you was like, two
it was,
plus two is what?
listen, you don't know how many times I done cried on that couch, ugly cry.
Girl.
It's 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 tough. It's tough. And I feel like people don't realize, and I estimated it because I thought, oh, I got a medical background. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother level than medical assistant. You know what I'm saying? It's
Wow. So you never lost your drive of becoming a nurse. That, you know, that's so important. If it's something that, like you said, it wouldn't let you go, you couldn't stop thinking about it, it wouldn't loose you.
mhm.
When it's like that, you know, you gotta go forward. So I'm very proud that you never lost your drive, and I don't care, even though it was a length of time, you
Mhm.
never gave up on what you wanted to do and what
Right.
you wanted to be.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
commend you on that. I want to ask a question about, what does healthcare look like today? I mean, you've been in it for a long time, because even though you were medical assistant, you
Mhm.
still was in the medical health. You were still in healthcare. So
Right.
can you tell me, what does it look like today? What does healthcare look like? Is it getting better, or
So
just
as
your
far as
opinion?
like the technology wise and just like the innovation of, different procedures and medications and things like that, yes, it has definitely got better. It has definitely improved. There's things that have been made, surgeries and different things like that that have
Mhm,
become easier. People
mhm.
are having, better chances of living and surviving things that they might not have survived back when I first started, Um, but I do feel like healthcare is not diversified like it should be. Me working,
Explain
yes, absolutely. So the thing is, there's not a lot of Black um, or minority nurses or physicians. There's just not. Like, I've worked on doing school. We do interns, or we do clinical days. And I've worked in pretty much various departments of Nebraska medicine. I've been to CHI, I've been to children's. And when you walk on the floor, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see anybody who looks like you. And that was something that I was just like, wow, you know, I already knew, because just growing up, like I said, being in the hospital, or just being a medical assistant for all these years, I didn't see a lot of people, you know, that look like me. You know, every doctor that I've ever had has been white, or maybe from India or something like that. I've never had a Black physician, you know, take care of, or a Black nurse. And so I feel like a lot of times, you know how our culture is, we are more comfortable with people who look like us, you know. And so a lot of times it's funny, because when people, the few of us that it is, like in Nebraska medicine is a well-known, you know, hospital, and they're starting to be more and more, but it's still, I could be on the floor at any given day and I'm the only Black person that's on that floor. And so sometimes people will see you and be like, oh, you know, like you work here, or you know, and it's
like, what you doing here?
Yeah, I even had that at a clinic. I worked at the clinic right in North Omaha, and it's just like, even some of your own people, you come out to the lobby to get them, and they like, oh, like, and I'm like, yeah, you know, it's me. You know, it's just, it's not a lot of diversity. And so that was another thing that really drove me, because I'm just like, I want to be a game changer for that. I'm not the first to do it, and I'm not the, you know, I'm definitely not the last, but just, there is not a lot of us, you know, and it's not diverse. You know, there's not a lot of diversity. And even in my nursing program at the school, for my class, I was the only for my group, I was the only Black girl in my group. There was a girl, I think, that went online, and I met her the night of graduation, but she was in an online program. And then there was a couple people that was a semester ahead of me, but with my group alone, I was the only Black girl out of
I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. I mean, I guess that's a broad question, but I mean, do you think it's the confidence? Do you think maybe giving up? Because like when you just stated you had to take the test multiple times, do you think, you know, some people of our culture may say, well, forget this, I'm not taking that test again?
I think that there's a variety of reasons. So speaking for me, and then just things that I've seen, for one, a lot of our people, we for one, we can't afford, you know, a lot of us don't get scholarships because you have to have, you know, a certain grade point average. A lot of people don't meet that you know, demand, or they don't know about a lot of the scholarships. You know, sometimes scholarships are not always readily available. And I think a lot of times we don't research stuff, or, you know, look, you know, for things. And if it's not something that's right there in our face, we don't go, you know, we don't go searching for it. I think also a lot of people are not confident in their skills to do it, because it is very hard, and a lot of people don't want to put in the work for it, because it is definitely, it's not for the faint. I'm telling you, at all. And people, I feel like some people feel like, you know, they just stop us. It's a lot of us Black women that are CNAs. We just stop right there.
Stop there and just don't.
Just stop right there. So CNA is one of the easiest things to, you know, to get, but it's one of the hardest jobs to do. You know what I'm saying? You're cleaning up people. I mean, that's not the only thing CNAs do, but you do a lot of heavy lifting people, cleaning them, changing their, bedding, feeding. It's very demanding, but it's so simple to get. It only takes you a couple weeks, to go through the training. And a lot of our women, we stop right there. We don't go no further, because as a CNA now, you can make really good money. You can make,
oh, really?
Oh yeah, you can make good
Girl,
money.
do I need to go back and become a CNA?
You can make some good money.
I'm gonna retire.
Do that. You can, because you can be a travel CNA and go to different places, and because there's such a shortage, the demand is high. So these places are paying really well. I know a lot of CNAs that make really good money, and so they stick with it because it's, hey, it's I didn't have to go to school. I didn't have to come out of all this money. So hey, and a lot of the stuff like that, it gets paid, there's a lot of grants and stuff that pay for like CNA medical, medication aid, stuff like that. It's easy to get that kind of stuff paid for. So, but I think that there's a number of reasons that our people don't, go on like that. I feel like we should, but.
Well, I thank you for sharing that, because it kind of broadened my, mind with you sharing those things, because I was trying to figure out, I thought it was probably because it was maybe just too hard, but those reasons that you gave, I could see that being the case, and stopping at the CNA. And I love all medical staff, you know what I mean, whether it's a CNA, medical assistant, whatever. I think we need it all, but to have that drive to go to the end, to go to the top, to, get that bachelor's and, become a RN. And, I think that's amazing. And I commend you, on your accomplishment for that. And I sincerely mean that. And I think it's wonderful. A woman of color, our community, what I'm saying? We can come to you, maybe ask questions and, get some insight. I was just asking you the other day about something, and, it was nice to be able to come to Nurse Nikki, somebody that I know, and be able to say, hey, Nurse Nikki, this, and you were able to offer, some suggestions. So I'm very, very pleased and happy about that. And I pray that more of us will get into this field, because a lot of us already are nurses, girl. We do it anyway. We raised up doing it, take care of our.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm a caretaker.
Yes, it's so true. You do it anyway. And then a lot of stuff, you have to get taught, because you're taking care of your mom or your grandma. So you'll be surprised the skills that you can be, shown so quick. Yeah, there's other there's a lot of other stuff that go along with nursing, but I feel like if I could do it, anybody can do it. You know what I'm saying? If I can do it, anybody can do it. That's right. Finished school with a B+ average, and I always never thought that I knew I wasn't dumb, but there was some stuff I struggled in, and it was hard. I mean, there was one semester where I failed 2 classes, and one of them was by 0.5 of a point, 0.5. And I had to retake the classes over.
God.
Whole class and the clinical all over again. And talking about, I was so distraught. But I didn't give up, because that's another thing. I think a lot of people go into nursing and healthcare field because of the money. That's not a good thing to do, because to be a nurse, a really good nurse, you have to care for people. You have to care about their well-being. You have to care for people who don't like you. They don't like you, who you are. You Black.
Right.
It's real. They don't like you. But that's how I knew it was for me, because even on the patients who didn't like me, that didn't stop me from providing the best care that I could for them. And eventually, those same ones who don't like you, you'll find them being nice to you, even when they don't like you, but they respect you. So I feel like if you go into nursing with the mindset, because I'm about to make this money, you definitely gonna make the money. You gonna make the money, but Are you going to enjoy it? Are you going to provide that care? Because you're dealing with people's lives, and you have to
Mm.
think about, is this the kind of care I would want provided for me if I was the one laying in this bed, or if it was my mom or my dad, or my grandmother? And I think that that's another thing people do, is so many people, and all they talk about is, securing the bag. Yeah, I secured the bag, but I also want to make sure that I'm caring for people as if it was me laying in that bed.
I love that, Nikki. I love that because that is so important.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with sickly parents.
Mm-hmm.
So I took, my mother, she had amputations. I had to learn how to clean stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My dad at one point had a colostomy bag. I had to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And, you have to, have a passion and a care, and people can tell the difference.
Oh yeah.
People can tell the difference in how you're caring for them if you really have that passion for being a nurse, or if you're just in it for the money, or you just trying to get your shift over. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? I think people
Mhm.
can can tell that, and I have experienced that down through the years with like I said, having sick parents.
Mhm.
I've experienced that. I want to ask one final question to you, Miss Nikki, and if you could just really share with the audience, what can you share with others who may want to pursue a nursing career? What would be something that you would tell them? This is what you have to do first.
So one thing that I would recommend is, nursing school is very expensive. Depending on where you go. I went to Clarkston. It's a private college, so it's expensive, but it was a good and it was a great investment. But I also don't want people to go in worried about how much it costs. Yeah, you probably have to take out student loans, but here's a positive about it. Most of the hospitals now here in Omaha and around, they're providing where they're paying back your student loans because there's a nursing shortage. So they're doing whatever they can to get people in. So my student loans, I don't have to worry about paying back my student loans. Um, they're helping, they're paying, once I start working, they're paying back, my student loans. So that's one thing, because I know the financial part of it is always something that, people, you think about that. You're like, okay, I don't want to spend all these years paying back loans because I went to school. But
Mm-hmm.
mainly, like I was saying before, you have to have a love and a desire to want to take care of people to go to nursing school. So
Mm-hmm.
if you are going for that reason alone, go and try hard. Do your best. When you are struggling, reach out to people. There was so many people that I reached out to, that I was connected to, who helped me when I was struggling and having a hard time. There was a number of people that connected me with other people, you know.
Right.
And so use your resources. If you have to start off going to community college to get the prerequisite part out the way, I would
Mm-hmm.
recommend
Mm-hmm.
that as well. Metro is a good school to go to get. It's inexpensive. Pick up all those prerequisites. All of them will transfer over to majority of the other schools here to get your degree. And just go for it. Don't let it hold you back. Don't be scared. It's not going to be easy, but pray. I prayed the whole way through. I prayed, I cried. I had a number of sleepless nights. It was times where I worked in the ER from 11 in the afternoon to 11 o'clock at night, and then came home and stayed up doing homework till 4, 5, 6 in the morning, laid down for 2 hours, and got up and went to class. I did it. I did it. That's how bad
Mm-hmm.
I was determined to finish. Yes, my body took a toll, but God kept reminding me that I'm here with you over and over. I heard him clearly. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. And I didn't want to give up. It was hard, but I didn't want to give up. Even when things got rough and I didn't do good. I didn't do perfect on everything, but I tried. I tried real hard. I used the resources. I went to my instructors and said, this is what I'm struggling with. What can you give me to help me? I met up with friends. Friends sent me study guides. I did all that kind of stuff, whatever. So it's definitely possible. If you put God first and ask him and pray and talk to him when you're struggling, you can make it. You can definitely make it. And I'm a witness. I'm a witness to that.
I love it, Miss Nikki. Nurse Nikki, I love it. Miss Nikki said, pray, be dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
She says, never give up.
Yep.
And have mentors, people that you could reach out to, get resources and different things of that nature. Miss Nikki, I know you are a recent graduate, and if you want to tell them when you graduated and received that bachelor's.
Yes, honey. So I graduated on Saturday, August 10th. I was pinned the day before. So there's a little ceremony that they have specifically just for the nurses where you receive your pin, which symbolizes you completed the program. You are a nurse. Here's your pin. And I had my daughter pin me because my baby is in nursing school as well. So yes, she goes to Clarkson as well. And so I had her pin me because my kids, they watched me the whole time. They watched me cry. They watched me, you know what I'm saying? And my daughter, she cheered me on, the whole way. Even my little Nolan. Nolan wrote me a note and I cried and cried and cried one day where I was having a bad day. He wrote that note and I was like,
I saw that. I saw that on Facebook.
Yes, I was so worn out that day, had come from clinical, and I was just like, I just want to sit down. I'm tired. I'm going to take a shower. Yeah. My baby wrote that note, and it's like every time that I would be worn out and tired and felt like I didn't have any strength, God would send a message to somebody. I don't know. I mean, and it would be on time, whether it been from one of my classmates from school. I would call my mom and my mom would say something. You almost there. It was always somebody. God would literally place people at the right time every single time to come and tell me. And Nolan, when that day he wrote that letter to me and I got out the shower and girl, I must have cried for like 3 hours every time I thought about it. I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, God is so intentional. He's very intentional. And I was just like, wow, that came right on time, right when I needed it. I was worn out and I was tired. And I'm just like, I'm over school. I can't wait. Yeah. So
well, Miss Nikki, we appreciate those encouraging words and out of the mouth of babes, girl, out of the mouth of babes. And I'm going to take what you just said and I'm going to apply it in every aspect of our lives. Whenever there is something that you've been called to do, a lot of times, you're going to have people, things of that nature try to come for you, discourage you, but you have got to hold on. You have got to, and God will send people just when you feel like, that's it, I'm giving up, I'm done, I'm out. He'll send somebody to say, hey, I like what you're doing. Keep going. You can do it. He will every time. So that's how you know. That's how you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing. So congratulations, Nurse Nikki. I would definitely be taking advantage of yourself. And it's nice to be able to have someone that you're in the community. People know you, and this is your opportunity to actually help those that may not have ever received any help or any guidance as a nurse. You know what I mean? You can help us all here. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm here for. I want to be more active, community wise. Sometimes we kind of stray away from stuff or we feel like, oh, well, I'm not popular or I don't know, people don't know me or whatever. But it's a lot of people it's more people watching you than what you think, it's more people that's watching you. Even if it's just one person that you motivate, then that's it. I'm good with that.
Would you mind if it would be okay if anybody in the audience like have a question concerning, healthcare, that they may could address it with you, if you can help them or lead them in a good direction of, if you would be willing to do that. If there's health fairs or anything that you feel that the community can benefit from, feel free to put it in this My Curvy Life entity, in this group, because I do what I do in this group so that people can be inspired, that they could get information that they wouldn't get elsewhere, and they can hear stories like this, letting them know, you could do it, you can make it. If there's dreams, aspirations you have, and you can apply what you just said about this whole situation with you becoming a nurse, you can apply this to other areas in your life and things that you might be trying to do. You know what I mean? So, just being an inspiration is really what I'm creating in this environment. So, Miss Nurse Nikki, I thank you so much. And thank you for saying yes. I know this is all fresh for you, but you've been in this field for a long time. But hey, you take pride in what you've accomplished. You be happy about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, I'll be boasting a little bit, popping my collar too, because you had to go through what you went through to get here. You know what I'm saying? And as your husband stated,
Girl,
to me, you better make a lot of money. That's what he told me. So,
now this man.
Chris told me, he said, hey, she got her nursing, and she finna make such amount of money. I said, what? I said, shoot, Chris,
like, I'm gonna need you to stop going around telling people how much money I'm about to make, sir. I'm like, you doing a whole lot, like.
But I just think
he's just my number one supporter. Like, it's when you have a support system and people they're happy for you, because he know, you know what I'm saying. He was here the whole time, watching me ugly cry on the couch some nights. He was here, but he was definitely one of my biggest supporters and encouraging me, and it's gonna be okay. So but I told him, I'm gonna need you to stop telling her about my big checks that's coming.
Because he gonna have me knocking at the door talking about, Nikki, can I borrow?
He gonna have a whole lot of people. I'm gonna be like, look, now I ain't got it.
Well, I'm very proud of you, and that's good. I'm glad he's very proud of you too. I can tell. And I love y'all, and you know that. I love y'all, and so I'm very proud of you. And I thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you for sharing your story with us. I believe you're probably going to have some people reaching out to you, and I appreciate you being okay with that, because people have questions or may want to, hey, I had one the other day. So, thank you, Miss Nurse Nikki. I love
I've
you.
never been invited to do anything, and I'm a little laid back. I'm a little chill, so I'm like, but I'm trying to get out my comfort zone, because I do realize, more people watched than I thought. When it came to what I was doing, my schooling, more people was watching than what I thought, and so I was just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And I'm happy to be, a mentor or to encourage somebody. Like I said, if I could do it, anybody can.
I know that's right. But girl, don't let me go on to get it. I'm gonna have to start with the CNA first, and I'll work my way up, and we'll see what happens. No, I'm getting ready to retire, so I'm good.
You're good already. You don't need
I'm okay. This is my time. This is my time to live, honey, and do some traveling and enjoy, the rest of the life that the Lord gives me. But I'm very proud of you. And Anik, I told her the other day, your daughter, I said, you've always been kind of one of my favorites. She said, really? I said, yes. I've always thought she was beautiful, as a child, and even now as an adult, she's absolutely beautiful. And I love her style and all of that. I'll be trying to take her little earrings and everything. I'll be trying to take her eyelashes and ear. I'll be like, girl, let me have the eyelashes. I ain't got nothing like that.
She is definitely my diva child. Like she
is. Yeah. I love it. I love it. And I'm proud of her. And when she graduates from nursing, she gonna come on the show too. Because she's really young. She's not even 30 yet, is she?
She's just turned 23.
Come on now. Once she gets that degree, she on the show. So tell her to get herself together.
I think
Okay.
she watching. She said she was gonna be watching. So I need you hear that. It's your turn.
Okay. You hear that, Anik? You coming on the show, so get yourself together. So well, from Curvy Life to you, Miss Nikki, Nurse Nikki, thank you. We appreciate you for coming on the show. And I love you. And congratulations again.
Thank you so much. I love you too. Thank you for even thinking of me. Thank you so much. It was
of course, girl. I love y'all. But until we meet again, y'all, my Curvy Life, we say good night and thank you for tuning in.
Life Show. Give it to her. 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 Now slide to the beat like give it to her.